Welcome back to John Cleese Car Audi's YouTube channel. Behind me we have the Honda Civic Type R FK8 from our customer Simon, who's finally brought it in for an audio upgrade. The thing has had so many modifications, I can't even count them. It is absolutely mint. You can see he's brought it in like it's just been valeted, but finally we're doing an audio upgrade. Now, this audio upgrade is a little bit special. We're having the brand new Audison Voce 2 speakers in the front and in the back. Components in the front without crossovers. We're going fully active in the front. We've got the components in the rear. We're going to go for 2 amplifiers. Now we're doing the, as I said, the Audison Voce 2s, which are here. We're also fitting 2 amplifiers. We're going to go for the Audison Forza range. We've got the 8-channel AFM 8.14 running all the speakers in a active in the front and passive in the back configuration. We're also fitting the Audison Forza monoblock, the AFM 1D. Now our customer Simon, very particular on the layout of where things are going, so he doesn't want the amps on the show. We've been tasked with hiding the amplifiers in the boot behind the factory panels, which is going to be hopefully behind the right hand side here. That is going to be tricky. I don't even know how Simon's going to do that yet. Simon reckons there's a huge void behind there, as in the owner Simon, not Simon the installer, because the factory sub in the American spec cars are in this car. So I'm more of a cup half empty on this particular situation, but if Simon, the owner, says it's space there, we're going to listen to him and we're going to hopefully put both amplifiers behind there, leaving the boot completely empty. We're not going to go for a subwoofer on this stage. This is just stage 1, so it's just front speakers, back speakers, and a Forza amplifier running the speakers. He's going to add a subwoofer at a later date. But we are speccing the system with a monoblock amp ready for the future. Now, like anything, soundproofing is a must. Simon has already made a quick start. We only got it in about half an hour ago, and he's taken the door card off with the factory Honda speaker. This is what you get with the top of the range Honda Civic Type R, right? Very expensive car. Obviously it's more of a driver's car. They haven't put money into audio, and you can tell. Speaker looks all right from the front, but then you look at the magnet on the back and it's pitiful. Disgraceful. Looks nice on the front though, looks almost like a faux cow speaker. So we're taking the door card off, and what we're going to do is we're going to treat this to a lot of soundproofing. I'm not going to use the words fully because we're not going to do edge to edge, 5 layers thick and add a ton of weight into this more track car for the road. So we're going to put enough in, an ample amount in, that'll make the Audison speakers sound how they should, and obviously with no vibrations. We're going to use solid collars in the front to mount the speakers on. We're going to put wave diffusers behind the speakers, and you're going to see all that happening. So keep watching. Next part of the video is going to be Simon soundproofing this door.
Yeah, that's it. That's done. Fully soundproofed.
Quick update. Obviously we've soundproofed the outer skin, and then we thought, you know what, let's just offer up the 6.5-inch Voce into that yellow collar I just mentioned. And lo and behold, the basket of the new Audison doesn't fit through the hole. Turns out they're too big and they don't physically fit compared to those standard hideous Honda speakers. We spoke to the client this morning just to see what he wanted to do, whether he's happy for us to do a bit of modification down the bottom, as in cut a bit of metal out, or does he want to switch to a different speaker brand, different speaker, something a bit, you know, less beefy, let's say. He's adamant we want to stick with the Audison Voce 2s, the brand new speakers, because that's exactly what he wants. So he's given us the go ahead to do a bit of modification. The old speaker will go back in, obviously, when the vehicle's sold, so we can reverse the speaker side of it. And we're not going to cut a massive amount away. We're only going to cut about 5mm the whole way around. What we're doing right now, as you can possibly see in the background, is we've basically protected the area with some basically sheets just to allow us to treat the area. We're going to prime the metal first, and then we're going to paint it afterwards to stop it from rusting in the future. So it is going to be treated. There isn't going to be no damage long term on this vehicle, but in this instance, we're going for it. Customer wants to have the Voce 2s, and that is end of it. And that's the modification complete on the driver's side door. Factory weather membrane back on, and then the collars remounted back on again with obviously the solid metal baffle with the water guard to make sure any water that drops down doesn't actually sit on top of the lovely Voce speaker. And then the Voce is now in place. It's going to sound absolutely incredible there. And what the good thing about the water guard also acts like, it acts like a what we call a fast ring as well. So it gets rid of the gap between where the door card goes against the actual speaker. So meaning that rather than some energy going, being lost down the gap down this way, it actually means it forces the energy through the factory grille, so there's no gap, so that will actually sit up against the door card as well. So that's like a double job, 2 in 1, 2 birds, 1 stone, which is great. That's do the same stuff on the rear door, because guess what? The Voce 2 didn't fit in the rear door either, because the factory rear speaker was also a hell of a lot smaller than the Voce. So the actual factory rear speaker is identical to the front, very skinny neodymium magnet on the back. Looks decent from the front, but like a back of a Christmas tree, shocking. So we've done the same on the back. We've done the modification to the metal to allow the larger Voce to fit. We've treated the metal, we primed it, and then we painted it. Excuse the focus. So that's now clean as well, so it's not going to rust or anything. We've fully soundproofed the outer skin as well on the back, and then with the factory weather guard's going to go back on. We've put the wave diffusers on the back as well. Wait for the camera to, there's not much light in here. Oh, you can't really see it, but I'll go from there. There you go. You can see the skin's wave diffuser on the back as well. And yeah, and then we've also used the factory plug adapters as well, meaning we haven't modified any of Simon's wiring. It's actually got the original plug still there, and then we've got the adapter that goes in, and then these wires are going to go onto our new speaker, meaning that there's zero modification. It is reversible. I know the metal being cut's not reversible, but the factory speakers can go back in for you people at home. That's got a BDI. And then I think Simon is currently now looking at amplifier location in between doing all this as well. Here's one of the amplifiers out, the Audison 8 channel, 8.14. As I mentioned earlier, he was hoping behind there, but I don't think there's physically enough room, or it's not practical to mount 2 amps there and wire them all in. So I think we're going to possibly look at under each seat, who knows. So keep watching and we'll have an answer for that very shortly. Another quick update on the Civic, because Simon was here till, I don't know, about 9 o'clock last night, carrying on with it to making sure that we get ahead of the game. I know you've already seen this, because that's the speaker in the rear door. We'll ignore that. Let's go to the front door. And even though it looks very similar, what you may not notice is the Voce tweeter's in. And as you can see, what we've done, we've actually used the Voce tweeter grille and actually made it fit into the factory housing. It actually looks like it's grown there. Honda, take note. Voce 2 can be a factory option if you just put your hand in your pocket. Ignore all that, that's still a part obviously, because we've still got loads to do. Have I shown you the mid bass yet? Look at the size of that. Absolutely humongous when you compare it to the, I'll find it, factory speaker. Absolutely abysmal. Look at that. Another little friend down here. Shop dog. Everyone meet Oakley. Nearly forgot your dog's name, Jason. Yeah, so there's the factory speaker, and there's the Audison Voce 2 speaker. Big differences in the size, big differences in the weight, and most importantly, big differences in the sound. Simon has moved on to the rear left door as well, so the outer skin's fully soundproofed as well with the wave diffuser behind, and then all we've got to do is put the factory weather guard back on, and then that door is completely standard, haven't touched that yet. And then we're currently looking down in the corner at the high level inputs for the battery amplified system, because we're still looking into how to actually interface our system into this, because it is actually an amplified system. Actually, it's got an amplifier that runs all speakers already. Even though it hasn't got the factory subwoofer option, it has got some kind of little upgraded system. So currently looking whether we can go before the amplifier or whether we have to go after, because sometimes we don't have a choice. Keep watching, we'll keep updating. Nearly at the end of the most boring part of the job, which is soundproofing all 4 doors. Simon's currently down here right now on the fourth and final door doing the outer skin. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm going to get a copyright strike probably, even though this is a song that you probably won't recognise in the background. Hang on. There we go, done. So yeah, final door is on its way. Quick look at the monstrous crossovers that you've got to fit when going passive. Front end is going active, so we didn't need to fit these in the front door, but we've only got 2 channels spare on the amplifier to run the rear speakers, and that's fine because it's only rear fit anyway, but we've got to find a hole for these whopping big briefcases of a crossover that's going to go in the back door behind, so I'll just leave that safely hanging there for a second. And yeah, the second piece of soundproofing going on the 4th and final door. Ooh. What's that then? Oh, 4 amplifier updates. Now, there may or may not be enough space to put them behind there, but we've had a decision that there's more pros to putting them underneath the seats than cons compared to putting them in this panel here. So, for example, Servicing going forward, if they're buried behind there, absolute nightmare if you ever got to get to them in the future to do any servicing, reset them, or whatever you might need to do them in the future if you ever get into a problem. Awkwardness of getting the two behind there mounted securely, another thing. So what we've gone down the route, we're actually going to mount them. There's actually so much space underneath the two front seats that we're going to put one under each seat, meaning cable runs will be shorter, easier to install, so less time, which obviously brings the total price down, as you can imagine. More practical to get to. And the fourth and final point is the fact that less heat underneath the seats. So when you put the amps behind that panel in a completely sealed area, you might have a problem with heat on very hot days like this 28-degree day we're in right now. So yeah, amp under each seat, better cooling, shorter cable lengths, easy to install, cheaper for the customer. End of. This is like the third time I've done this little clip right now because the damn battery in this camera keeps on going flat even when it's full. Lesson for you guys at home, and I should know better, do not use copy equipment in your camera systems. Get genuine batteries only, because then you won't have to redo this take 4 times. Now I feel like I'm just acting. So, 2 more days have gone past since the last clip, 4 more clips. This has now been onto the stage of putting the amplifiers in, so we have decided they are definitely going under the seat, as I mentioned earlier, or the seats, because there's 2 amplifiers. All doors are back together now, as you can see, with their nice Voce tweeters in the original housings. Looks really nice, that does. That's the front. That's the rear, where basically the Voce 2 tweeters are mounted where the original ones are. Now, underneath the passenger seat, we have the Audison 8-channel AFM 8.14 multi-channel amplifier with DSP built in. And we've got the monoblock amplifier underneath the driver's seat. Now, the amplifier driver's seat is a monoblock, but we're not actually fitting a subwoofer on this stage. Well, not unless you, Simon, change your mind again in the next 24 hours. It might well happen. If not, then the reason why Simon just wanted to go for why the car was in here having its big surgery done of all the cabling, it made sense to preempt or organise a system where a subwoofer could be added easily at a later date with a simple cable for the subwoofer, which we're going to pre-wire in the boot and obviously a retune, but we don't have to take the car fully apart again to run new power cables and integrate back into the battery head unit. It's ready for a sub right now. It just needs a retune and a new wire. Cable is going to be in the back. I'll show you that shortly, unless he changes his mind and we do the subwoofer now. Who knows? The AFM 8.14 is, and both amps for that matter, fully fixed, solid. They're not moving because we've made a board underneath for this to mount onto. It's not just Velcro down, it's properly fixed to the panel underneath, but we haven't drilled any holes in the floor. That goes for the same for the monoblock over the other side, which is there. And all the cables, as you can probably already see, are neatly wrapped, routed in fabric tape, test tape, just to keep it all neat. So even if you do look under the seat, you can't see anything. Now I'm going to show you the engine bay because you're not going to see any unsightly aftermarket bright red cables, even though red cables would probably match the Type R red colour. So what we've done, we've actually put them in battery conduit tubing just so it's hidden. We've made up a little panel which is just there, which holds the 2 fuse holders, one for each amplifier, so they're all fully secure as well. What we're also going to do, because this battery earth is quite skinny from Honda, we're actually going to put a better earth just to upgrade the earth for the batteries, the chassis, just because we've pulled a lot more current off the battery as it is. Now, I don't know if he's done it yet, but I was going to quickly show you the subwoofer. No, so what we're going to do is in here is like a little flush quick release sub plug. We're going to flush that underneath this panel here when I think Simon's decided with Max where it's going, somewhere in there, meaning that all he's got to do when he comes back for a sub is just plug a sub wire straight in, and if he ever needs to take his subwoofer out, it's very quick and easily removable. But yeah, 2 amplifiers mounted out of the way. Yes, we've hoovered under the seats as well while the seats are out, so just in case you don't quite get to those hard reached bits when you're hoovering your car out, we hoover under your seats whenever we take them out. That is a standard thing for us. Anyway, that's clip number 4, 4th time doing this. I'll be back shortly when probably the car's looking a bit more back together and we're on the tuning side. See you soon. Do you know what this box behind me is filled with? Absolute factory rubbish. Only kidding, all the factory stuff is behind me so Simon can refit this stuff when he sells the car. It can all go back to original.
Am I fully soundproofing the RS3 doors, haven't you, Max?
I think we're about to get the answer whether Simon goes for a subwoofer before this car leaves, because his missus has turned up an hour earlier than when Simon's due to actually listen and collect his car, so she's got a cheeky little visit early, and she's now sat in there with Max right now having a demonstration with a sub. Kind of guarantee that she's going to make the end choice right here because she loves her bass.
Every platform's different, that's it. I mean, this can't just eliminate that.
Decision's been made. We're going for the subwoofer. It's staying in here. This is the JL high output W3 V3 enclosure. It fits actually really well in the boot. What we've also done, just to make sure it fits that bit better, is because the floor slightly raises up at the back, Simon's just made a little infill panel. It's hard to see because it's actually trimmed and made so well to follow the contours of the box. This bottom piece here, trimmed in carpets. There you go, that's better. The lights come on now. So that's been made just so it lifts the front of the box up so it doesn't rock back and forward. And it actually almost follows the rake of the back of the seat. And then what we've done, just to make sure it's fixed without actually putting any fixings into the sub box itself or his floor, so no drilling any holes, we've used a simple box strap across the top which attached the factory mounting points left and right, meaning this box ain't going nowhere. However, if it does want to go somewhere and bits taken out, we've made a very easy quick release cable wrapped in nice posh braided sleeving. Ooh, yeah, look at that. And then we've flushed a quick release plug just here, meaning that he can actually easily take it in and out if he ever wants to. And what we've done, because we've obviously fully tuned this system, is we've done not one but two tunes. So a tune with the subwoofer and a tune without the subwoofer, meaning at least when he takes the subwoofer out, he has still got bass in the vehicle, and we're not bandpassing the front speakers. They're going to be playing a lot lower, meaning when the sub's gone, he still have a decent sound, just for those trips when he's going to fill the boot up. But yeah, this is complete now. Obviously Simon has now had a listen, as you saw earlier. His missus had a listen, so they're both extremely happy with it. They're happy to pay the bill. In fact, they're waiting right now in the shop to pay. Getting some last minute footage. Max is over there doing the filming. And yeah, got amp under each seat as I showed you. So one final look before it goes back. The only thing I think we're going to suggest is he gets some nice custom made floor mats made up, just so that obviously it doesn't go over the top of the amp, because it just doesn't, the factory mat doesn't quite fit that perfectly, but a couple of custom made floor mats will fix that. But when you put the seat all the way back to its normal position, because obviously right now you're chewing dashboard in the front, which clearly that's not where the seat's going to sit. So you put the seat in a normal position like there, you'll see you can't see the amplifier at all. So they're a perfect place for the two amplifiers. Looking really original. Voce tweeters on the outside as requested by Simon, the owner. But yeah, sounds the absolute dog's danglies. And we're finishing up. This is John Cleese Car Audio. This is a Civic Type R FK model, and this is Audison. See you soon. What are you doing, Max?
Getting some B-roll, bruv.
Max likes playing with that knob.